everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit different from what I normally do, which scares me but also excites me at the same time. So fingers crossed that I can pull this off and it turns out really great and it helps some of you guys. So as you might have guessed from the title of this video, I'm basically just going to be showing you some little tips and tricks of how to sort of look more brightened, more awake, and just a lot more fresh. So it's not really a makeup tutorial as such because I'm no makeup artist and I'm not really confident enough to do a tutorial yet, but these are just a few little tricks. It's kind of like half a tutorial sort of thing that I'm just going to share with you guys that I personally use pretty much every single day in order to look more fresh and more bright and more awake, because this time of year, now that it's winter, you tend to look a little bit more tired and that kind of thing, and you just sometimes want to know what are some things you can do that aren't too hard and aren't too expensive in order to just look a lot more fresh basically. So I've got a stack of things here to use and to share with you guys, and also some other options if you don't really like exactly what I'm using, but pretty much you can just use whatever it is that you feel most comfortable with. So as I've never done one of these types of videos before, I don't really know what I'm doing, so we're just going to run with it and hope for the best. To run you through what I have already applied on my face, because obviously I don't look this good naturally, let's just say. The foundation I used is the Bourjois Happy Light foundation. I'm in the shade 50 Porcelain with this because I'm extremely pale and this is the lightest shade that they do. Basically you can use any foundation that you want, whatever you feel most comfortable with, but if you want to look a lot more fresh and more awake, I'd recommend something slightly dewy unless you're super oily, in which case don't go dewy, just go matte or whatever it is that you're comfortable with. I've also applied the Maybelline Fit Me concealer in the shade 10, which is the light one it says, just on any spots and redness and that kind of thing to add a bit of extra coverage. And also to save time, I filled in my brows, so I just used the Coral Colours Eyebrow Definer in the shade Dark Brown, which is just like a pencil thing. Mine's looking a bit blunt, oops. And then to set them into place, the Australis Lash and Brow Extender, and as you can see, mine is well loved. So the next thing you want to do after you've applied your foundation and your concealer to conceal your face and, you know, even out redness and skin tone and all that kind of thing, is you want to use a brightening concealer under your eyes and on any place that you kind of want to highlight. So I use the Maybelline, oh, just dropping it. I use the Maybelline Fit Me concealer. This is the shade 15 Fair, which is the shade that's lighter than 10, which is a bit confusing because like 15 is higher than 10, but I don't know why, they just have weird numbers. And you want to go for one that's a shade lighter than like your normal skin tone in order to brighten it up. So that's what I'm going to do. So I just get the concealer like this and then pop it under my eyes like that, and I also put a little bit on my nose because I tend to get a bit red and that's not attractive. And then I just blend it in with my finger actually, because I just find it easiest to do it that way. But you can use a brush or whatever it is that you want, and I bring it up to the inner corner as well to brighten that. So I kind of spread it out and then pat it in just to brighten up under the eyes. I don't really have crazy bad dark circles. Obviously it's not perfect under there, but it's not super problematic, I don't find. And then pat into my nose because like I said, I tend to get a bit Rudolphy. And when applying concealer, I just find that using my finger is always best. Like even over my skin I use my finger because I find that it slides around less doing it that way. So after you've applied your concealer to any places that you want to highlight, and you also could do like forehead and chin and that kind of thing, cheekbones if you really wanted to, but I'm just showing you guys what I do and that's what I do. You want to set it all. Now if you're quite dry or quite normal skin and you don't find that you get that oily, then you can skip the powdering step, but I definitely always need to powder. So the one I'm going to use today is the Rimmel Stay Matte, which as you can see I've really hit pan on. But another one you could use is the Face of Australia loose powder, the translucent one, and it's just like a translucent loose powder as the name would suggest. if you prefer a loose option rather than a pressed. But the thing is that basically, especially on the areas that you've highlighted, like under your eyes and that kind of thing, you don't want to use a powder that has coverage, or if it has coverage, you don't want it to be like your skin tone or darker, because you want to keep that area highlighted, because that's what you've just done, obviously. So these ones, I have this in the shade Transparent, so it doesn't have a colour, so I can use it all over my face and it doesn't matter because it's not adding any coverage. And the brush I'm using is the Zoeva 106 powder brush, and I focus it mainly on the T-zone because that's where I get oiliest. Next thing you want to do is add a little bit of blush, because it kind of just adds a pop of colour to the cheek and, you know, just makes you look fresh and awake and that kind of thing. And you want to use a blush that's quite a bright pink, nothing like too crazy in your face, scary sort of thing. Itchy nose. But just something quite bright and poppy. So some examples that I have are the NYX blush in Peach. That's a good one. It's quite nice, it's quite a bright pinky peach colour. Also the Sportsgirl Get Cheeky Cheek and Eye Shimmer. This is not super pigmented, it's more of like a highlight blush shimmery thing, like hybrid. Ooh. So this is good if you don't really want a lot of coverage, if you don't really want a lot of colour but you just want to like add a bit of a healthy glow. That's a good one. But I'm going to be using the Colour Theory blush in Dollhouse, which I absolutely love, and my Real Techniques blush brush. So this stuff is quite pigmented, so I just sort of pop a bit, tap off, smile, and then add a bit. And I haven't worn blush in so long. And I pop it on like that to just add some colour back, make you look nice and healthy and glowy. And you want to apply that to the apples of your cheeks. A step that I really don't miss these days is using my Rimmel Scandaleyes Waterproof Kohl Kajal in Nude. And this is basically, I've said it before, this is basically like concealer for your waterline. Just, it cancels out any redness and anything like that. And my waterline's not actually too red today or discoloured or anything, but I'm still going to use it to show you guys. But this seriously is a lifesaver. It just brightens up your eyes so much. Next step is mascara. Now, I have recently bought these eyelash curlers, and before I had these, I did not own any eyelash curlers. I'd never used any before, and I just didn't ever curl my lashes. Since buying these, I'm like, oh well, why did I not buy eyelash curlers earlier? Seriously, go and buy some if you don't have any, because they make such a difference. I'm still quite new at using them, so I'm a little bit awkward and weird and scared I'm going to poke my eye out or something, but I'm getting better. So these ones are the Eyeko lashes, the Eyeko lash curlers, I think they're called. I bought them off ASOS. Yeah, nothing too fancy. And pop it on the eye like that and curl. And it seriously just like opens them up so much. Like, I didn't realise how much a difference these could make. Then you want to apply your favourite mascara, or just anything that's that you find to be really like lengthening and just make you look super awake and healthy and glowy and lovely. So I'm going to use the Revlon Lash Potion one. But another favourite of mine that you could use is the Benefit They're Real. I really love this mascara. I have just a little sample size of it, but it's seriously such a great mascara. But like I said, I'm just going to use this one today. And you can go as heavy or as light as you want. I'm not going to go too heavy, because I find that when I curl my lashes now, I don't have to use as much mascara, because they just look more awake. Next thing I'm going to do is a bit of highlighting around the eyes. So I'm just getting my Sleek Contour and Highlight Kit, and I'm going to use the highlight side of it, and this is the light one. And I'm just taking a Real Techniques shading brush, and you can take any sort of little brush. As you can see, it's just a little brush, which is what you want. And I'm just popping a bit of the highlight and then putting that on the inner corner, because it just helps to brighten your eye up and open it up and make you look awake and glowy in the eyes. I'm just going to use this mirror now, on the brow bone. And this step also makes a difference, obviously. Just like that. Such a simple step, but really like, it just makes your face so much brighter, more awake, lifts your eyebrows. It's great. Great stuff. Now the final step, which is lips. Some pink lips that I would suggest are the Revlon lip butter in Sorbet, which I talk about all the time, I know. This is if you want quite a glossy, but not like a lip gloss, but you still want it to be quite glossy and pretty. That's a good one. If you want something really pigmented, the Maybelline ColourSensational Vivid thing in Vivid Rose, which I've also talked about recently. I'm seriously in love with this. It's such a pretty colour. Or if you weren't really into the pink but you wanted to be quite fresh and healthy and glowy, which I know I keep saying, but if you just wanted to look fresh and healthy, the Revlon Super Lustrous lip gloss in the shade Berry Lure is also really good. And even though it looks super dark, it doesn't come out dark at all. And just makes you look really like awake and like fresh. It just gives you that fresh look. However, the product that I'm going to be using today is the Tanya Burr lip gloss in Picnic in the Park, which is it's like sort of basically a pink version of this in terms of it just makes you look really fresh. And I'm just going to apply that straight on. Well guys, that is the finished look done and complete. So hopefully you learned something. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. And if you want to see sort of more tutorial sort of things from me, then definitely let me know and I will do that for you guys if you want to see it. Don't forget to subscribe. Everything that I used and talked about and all that kind of thing and any links of mine will be down below in the description box, so don't forget to check that out. And I will see you guys again soon. Bye.